I am alive. I am here. We have contact. It is freezing in my apartment today. Freezing. It's so cold. I woke up shivering. The heat was off. This happens. It's a very old building. And once in a while, the heat just decides to stop working. Hello, Sybil. Yes, I know you're trying to keep me warm, but stop. That was my face. She's just gonna stick her tail right up my nose and, have her way with my face. Um, Hi, it's good to see you. It is Monday. It is the Mondayest Monday ever. Again, I am freezing cold. Um, Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate you so much. Um, you guys are wonderful, adorable, so much love. I think we're gonna do a project today. Like, I've got time. My plans were canceled due to inclement weather. Hello, Belinda. Good to see you. Just gonna pop on over to Facebook and say, oh, hey, we're live. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, I amuse myself sometimes. Oh, hey. We're live and we're doing a whole ass project today. So, I need to entertain myself. This is how I keep myself from spiraling. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. No, my love, it is totally a hoodie and a hat because it is so cold in here. I am so cold in here. It's so cold in here. The heat was off. No, I am not. This is not religious headdress. Not that I have a problem with that. I don't. It's just that that's not what it is. I'm just so cold. So cold. So my plans were canceled today. Kimmy and I had planned to do a little bit of a road trip. And hi, Dawn. Sybil's butt says hi. No, go to the live part of the broadcast. Thank you very much. There we go. Yeah, I have a heating pad, but of course it's in the studio or it's in the nest. It's not in here. In here, it's just like knee-high socks or thigh-high socks actually, and my Amigo the Devil t-shirt, which you can't hear. Amigo, we love Amigo around here, and long pants and a hat and the hood. I'm gonna take the hood off though, so that um, people don't mistake what's going on here. How is everybody? How is your heart? Do me a huge favor, take a sec, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, hit the share button. You don't even need to say anything, just share to your socials so that YouTube gets the message that this stream is worth pushing out. Because, we would like that. We would appreciate that. So I'm not going to pull tarot today. I already pulled tarot. I got the Two of Wands again. You guys already saw that. It's up on Mini Moly Daily. I have had quite a day already. I've fed myself an enormous amount of... Can you... Hi, I love you. There you go. Oh, sorry. So distracted, turning the phone around so I can't see it. Nervous system shredded. Can I get an amen? It's a lot right now. And of course, I deal with a lot with my humor. Unfortunately, sometimes it comes out as like cackle sobbing. and I seem a little unhinged. I don't apologize for that. We all have the right to be a little unhinged right now. Look at what I got. Cool, right? There's a problem though. I hate the paper. This is not the droid I'm looking for. So the cover's great. The paper is not so great. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rebind it. That's what we're doing today. We're rebinding it. We're putting in new paper. We're gonna take that paper and we're gonna take it out and I'm gonna donate it. And I'm gonna put this stuff to use. But this isn't exactly the correct size, right? So we're gonna have to break it down. But these are already, you can't see anything that I'm doing right now. Hang on. Let me change the camera. See, I'm so distracted. I have no idea what I'm doing. All the stuff. All right. So this is what we're doing today. If my chair won't, the hydraulics on my chair are broken. Yes, still. Yes, I had been sitting here with a brand new chair waiting to be put together for over a year. Executive dysfunction is a thing. Don't judge me. Anyway, this is Funko blank watercolor cards. They're 5x7, 140-pound premium. And they are watercolor paper. You can tell because they have quite a nice tooth to them. But they are not the correct size. How many are in here? 25. That's about right for this project. I got these on Amazon. Are you guys into this? I mean, I'm not holding you hostage. If you're not into this, of course you may go. I am just really needing to do something today that keeps my my brain meats occupied. And rebinding it is what I want to do. So I got this at, there's a Little Witch shop in St. Thomas, Ontario. I was there with a friend on Saturday. This was $33.99 USD. I can pull that off now. It came from a shop called Purely Wicked. And they are so much fun. This shop is gorgeous. You walk in and it's everything you want a witch shop to be, called Purely Wicked. They had a bunch of these in a bunch of different sizes, 3 different sizes. I got this one because I like a pocket size. I love me a pocket size. And it's just adorable. And it says the spiritual BITCH on it, which is me. That's me. Can we agree? Beautiful, intelligent, charming. I don't know what the H is for. Harried, harangued, harassed by life. That's, yes, beautiful, intelligent, talented, charismatic, and harassed by life. Yes. Anyway, it's got this great enclosure on it. I love books like this. I'm currently working in a book like this, sort of like it's a leather bound with handmade paper. This is the one that I'm working on for Book of Mirrors, which is a class that happens over on Patreon. Babe in total control of herself. Yes, that too. So these are all lessons. This one is new. This one was just a bonus. I don't know when that's going up. I just did this a few days ago. I've got the video files for it, but I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it was really, really fun. So these are all for Moonshine or Book of Mirrors. And it's one of those books that's super cheap, made in India, right? That we all ooh and ah over because they're like real leather, tooled leather. This is just a page that I'm ready to work on. This is a page I accidentally skipped. Another page I accidentally skipped. That's a finished one. Got to work on this one. I may actually pull this book out at some point for Perish of the Moon and start working in the unfinished pages. This was the most recent lesson that went up for Mini Moly Daily. And then it's very much the same thing. It's even bound similarly, as you can see. And I like that crisscross binding, but I don't really know how to do it, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I love these books, and I love this book, but I do not love this paper, and I thought it would be really fun to video me rebinding the paper. Now you can do this kind of thing with, oh, these are envelopes. We don't need those. You can do this kind of thing when you're rebinding any book, as long as it has a good sturdy spine to it. Now this is going to be really easy because it already has the holes, right? And then I myself have the linen, bookbinding linen, or you can use any thread or yarn. And I have the needles and I have the awl. I'm just going to need to find them. And I literally decided I was going to do this at the absolute last minute today. I was like, oh yeah, I want to find that. Hey, I should do that live. Not that I know where any of my stinking bookbinding supplies are, because I do not. I'm pretty sure they're in a bin right underneath the desk. But the first thing that you got to do when you're working with something like this is you want to remove the pages that are already in there. Now, I will not be binding it with this crisscross dealio. I'm going to bind it straight in because that's just easier. So first things first is we are going to remove the paper. So we can just get rid of that, and I'm going to do it as close to the top as I can because the leather, that's going to be fun to play with something else, right? So you can see they're coming out from the top. And then we'll do these from the bottom. And we'll save this paper for something else, but we need one sheet of this paper to act as our template. So put all that away. Look, these are really fun little bits of string. I thought it was leather, but it's definitely not. Well, maybe it is. Either way. So we need one of these sheets to act as our template. And obviously, you could just use a ruler, but I'm lazy. I like using templates for stuff like this because it's just easier for me. Where is the chat disappeared? There it is. Yeah, hemp works great. All kind of stuff works great. And then this is great. These Funko watercolor, because your folios are already done for you. So the way that this book was put together, it was 10 folios, I think. Let me grab one that I haven't robbed anything from. So it was 10 folios. 1, 2, 3. See, I hate this paper. Yuck. 4, think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm pretty sure there were 10 when I counted yesterday. Yeah, 9. There's 10. So there's 10 of these. So I'm gonna see putting 10 of these together if they'll close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That may be pushing it. That's pretty thick. See, that's really thick. So that's pushing it. So I'm going to do 5, which is what I usually do in my hand-bound books anyway. I usually do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That feels more reasonable to work with. Yeah. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sewing stations in here. So we need 5 of these. So we'll just put together 5 folios. 1 or 5 signatures, 2. So, hello, Kelly. Good to see you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So I'm going to make 5 of these. So a little bit of book binding nomenclature for y'all today. 1 sheet is a folio, and folded when you put them together is a signature. So 1 sheet folded in half is a folio, and then when you put them together, that creates a signature. 1, 2. Nope, feels pretty good. It's way different from when I had 10 together. It was awful, but 5 together is perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then these are much thicker. Look. See that? One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm missing one, but I have a whole other box. The amount of time you save from buying these instead of making your own folios for like a small 5x7 is it's ridiculous how much time you save. So it's worth it to me. That was 4, so 5. Four, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have probably a whole nother box of these. So again, these are Fun Toe blank watercolor cards. 25 cards and envelopes per box. So save the envelopes for another project. 5 by 7 inches when folded, and 140-pound paper. Doesn't have a whole lot of information other than that on here. Manufactured in China. Right now, I am boycotting all things that come from the US, but I am perfectly fine to buy things from China. I'm Canadian. If you know, you know. All right, so those are our signatures, and you can see that's going to fit nicely. But we need to break the book down so that the book actually, so that the folios actually fit. That's going to be a bit time consuming. I am going to roll up my sleeves, literally roll up my sleeves, grab a decal edge ruler, and get to work. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to clip yeah, no, I'm just going to do it this way. So we're just going to put this down like that, and we're going to get after it because I don't have all day and neither do you. Make sure that that's, yep. You could probably do more than one, but it would hurt me. Okay. Keep that exactly where it is. So I'm probably only going to sew in, we're going to start with one signature with instruction so that you guys know exactly what I'm doing, because I don't want to be here for 15 hours today. I love this decal edge ruler. It's fantastic for this kind of project. This is from, doesn't have a brand name. There is no brand name. If you want it to rip easier, you can totally run a wet brush along the edge, but I'm fine with raw dogging it. And that will fit right inside the book. See that? So if this were TikTok or TV, I could say a few minutes later or an eternity later, and then we'd be right into the bookbinding part. But we are not on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. So we're just going to barrel through one signature as fast as we can. And then I'm going to show you how I create the sewing stations. And then we'll sew one in. Meanwhile, tell me everything. What's going on with you? It's actually really hurting my wrist to hold it down that way. My arthritis is acting up. There we go. Oh, this is seriously hurting my wrist. Ow. The deckled edge might not be the smartest idea for me today, just given how much this is hurting me. But it's really hard for me to say no to the deckled edge because I love how it looks. Isn't that cool looking? If you have no patience for these kinds of shenanigans, then you can use the paper cutter, like a guillotine or one of these. This would work great. But I really want the deckled edge, even though it's hurting me. And that is just the way it is, man. It's less hard on my wrist when I just hold my whole hand down. Yeah, I got it on Amazon, Leico, and I actually searched deckle edge ruler. So that was the search that I put in on Amazon, was deckle edge ruler. I just have to find the right position to keep my hand in, not that. Put your hand down, Effie. There you go. This is not ergonomically friendly. Like, obviously that's a little bit too much there. So I'm going to tidy that up a bit. That's just where my strength gave out. So I'm gonna We don't mind the sticky outy pieces because they look really cool. I'm gonna see if standing up and putting downward pressure hurts. Do not hurt yourself, she says. All right. Oh yeah. My lazy ass just needed to get up. Yeah, I was just not the right height for this to be effective because physics or something. If you wanted to do this the easy way, then you measure the paper and then you grab your paper cutter and you cut your papers, right? That's the easy way. The hard way is doing it. But it's for the aesthetic. So we're doing it. We're doing it for the aesthetic. Just make sure that that's centered there in the middle. That is crooked AF. Yep. And because the sewing stations in this one are already established, you do have to be somewhat mindful about where your sewing stations go. I really like to re-burnish the edges of these, so I will fold them and then fold them again, and then thumbnail or bone folder if you have one, and just make them really super flexy. Make sure that that's really well burnished. We're not worried if our hands are dirty because are you having a crazy day, Liz? I'm sorry. We're doing a project today to keep Bethy out of trouble. All right, so there you go. So now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a good template. So your sewing template is going to be based on what's happening here. So grab another piece of paper just as your blank. And you only need one of these. Grab yourself a pencil and mark where you're going to sew. Because you want to punch these holes with an awl before you get into sewing. Obviously, you're going to punch holes before you sew them. You could just go in with a needle and thread and sew them in just willy-nilly, but that's not going to achieve the look that I want. Is this my numbers box? I believe this is. Those are my inks. Yes, I should have been prepared. No, I was not. Do you forgive me? Can you ever forgive me? I'm having a memory of where I put it, so that's good. Bear with me here, guys. Thanks for your patience. Fall right out of this chair. Told you. I remembered exactly where it was. Oh, here it is. That's elastic. I don't really want that, but we could use purple. Purple hemp twine. Where's my awl? Bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Found my bone folder, so we're getting close. all. See, we're getting close. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find an embroidery needle. Or not, because that was tucked in with my my beading linen. I don't know where my beading linen is. Or my bookbinding linen, I mean. I don't know where that is. Since I cleaned the studio, of course. That's just how it goes. Never clean your studio, man. I'm telling ya. Anyway, so once you have your sewing stations, you're going to pierce your sewing stations with your awl. If you don't have an awl, use a nail. You pierce them like that. And then you make sure that it's folded so that it's, I mean, you don't really have to, but I'm going to tuck it in the center here and fold that right down the middle. Find the middle, the very middle, like that. You want to do the entire folio at once. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be easy, right? It's going to be hard on your hands. That's why you've got this heavy duty awl. So we're going to clip that in there so it stays put. And then you're going to pierce all of them at once. So grab your awl. If you have a really super thick book, that's really handy to do this with because you can put it in the center of the book like a telephone book. I know, right? Everybody's studio these days. If you put it in the middle of like a telephone book, who knows what those are anymore anyway, but you know what I mean. You can just go right through with this tucked into the book. So now you've got your holes pierced. And then you grab your cover. And you want to figure out which way you'd rather have it oriented. So this is the right way. And by right, I just mean correct. I don't mean that there is an actual right way. So you can start doing your sewing anywhere. So you can do your sewing starting here and then move up, or starting here and then move down, or in the center and then move on either side. It's entirely up to you which way you prefer. So I like to measure out 1, 2, 3 lengths of the book when I'm doing this. And then you got to figure out where do you want, this is going to be impossible without a needle. Arrgh. Going and finding a needle right now is just not, it's not my jam. So you got to figure out where you want to tie your knot. So I want my knot on the inside. So I'm going to start this on the inside, and I'm just going to see if I can push this through. Does that work? Of course, this would be a whole lot easier if you had a needle. Here we go. I am the witch that adapts and overcomes. Pull that all the way through. Should be pretty easy to get this through here. The nice thing about working with the thicker stuff Okay. There you go. In here like so. And then through this hole, which of course we are going to have to fight over because I don't have a needle. No needle and I'm blind. Part of it went through. Let's grab the rest of it. It's okay if these holes get embiggened by whatever it is that you're doing. It tends to all be fine and tighten up as you go. Come on. Why can't I get the rest of that? You guys are getting how much easier this would be with a needle, right? I don't have to explain to you that this would be so much easier with a needle. So there. So you're in there. I want to make sure that I have enough for tying in the center. And then we're going to embiggen this hole and go through this hole. Make sure we've got all our papers here. So we're going to embiggen that. Do that. You don't want to tighten it too much until you're through this hole. Awkward, girl, it's awkward. Anyway, it works, trust me. Believe me. Stay with me here. Going through this hole. I cannot see this to save my life. Oh, by the way, a little trick here. If you put a little bit of hairspray on the end of this, or if you're not anywhere near hairspray, you don't have it in your house, you could put just a touch of even glue stick would work. It'll make a sharp point that will make your life a little bit easier. Where are we at here? Did I pull it out? I did. Guys, take a breath. Me to me. Take a breath. I'm just going to embiggen these holes all the way and just make my life that much easier, right? I promise you next time I won't bring you a project unless I have all of the supplies laid out in front of me. I won't do that to you, like, ever again. We're okay, though. I've got it now. She says as she struggles. Doing this blind is really, really, really hard. Just going big in that. If I had a teeny, teeny, tiny crochet hook, that would be great, but I don't. All of mine are like huge right now because of the blindness. So, okay, we're on the right track now, I promise you. I promise. Make sure there's enough there to tie my knot later. go. All right. Is that good? Yep, that's good. It. Just gonna make sure that that's not fraying anymore. And then in the next hole, just gonna embiggen it. Push, push, push. Here, I'm gonna cut this because it's definitely very frayed. I'm gonna run the end of it into some beeswax because that's gonna help a lot. This is just a chunk of beeswax. Just gonna make this stiff. No comments from the peanut gallery, please. That's much better. I don't know why I didn't think about that earlier, but I didn't. There we go. And then this will go in here. Don't even need to embiggen because we've got this nice and stiff now. I'll probably need to embiggen it down here though, or at the very least push through here, like so. Now, if you know how to get it to look like a corset, go for it, right? But that's, I don't, and that's too much work for me to even begin to bother figuring it out. I'm just not that interested in figuring it out to make it look like a corset. I just want to get it in there. That's all I want, is just get it in there. And of course, oh, okay, and then I'll slip this, and then again, and make sure that that's nice and tight. And then this as well, slip it under, make a little knot there, and make sure that that's nice and tight. Don't pull too hard because you will bust it. And then it's up to you. You can tie it in the middle like this. I like to do that because it gives it just a little bit of extra strength. Does this bulk up the middle? Sure it does. Of course it does. Does it matter? No, it's a handmade book. We're not worried about that. So they'll go right there like that. And then that is nicely bound inside. See? So there you go. That's how you do it. Now I'm going to do this all over again when I found a needle, because that was tedious and awful. And I never want to put myself through that again. So I'm actually going to unbind this. I also bound it upside down. It's very important to note where the pages are going. And this is right side up here. No, it's not. This is right side up here. There. That's how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to do that again when I have a needle. But that's how I rebind a book. And I have done this before. I know it didn't look like it, but I usually actually have a needle handy, right? Just not this time because I was not prepared. It was one of those days. I was totally unprepared. All of the things that I need have gone missing in the studio clean / purge. But that's how I would do it, and I will do it, and I will show you probably on during the next Purge to the Moon. When it's all finished, I'll just show you the book. But that's how you do it. You pull out one of the pages, you use that as your measurement. You grab your deckled edge ruler if you've got one, otherwise just whatever. Make sure that you know what size of folios are appropriate for the book. Like this is it's gonna be a nice fatty. See that? It's gonna be a nice fatty. It's gonna be perfect. All right, let us regroup. What time is it? It's 10 to 4. That was about all I wanted to do today. I'm going to save this because this is my sewing stations. Let me figure out here which is the top and which is the bottom, because then I can mark this to know. I don't recommend doing this blind, by the way. Like, seriously. This is the top. So now we know this one is the top. So now we know. And then when we're doing our sewing stations, we can actually mark them with pencil so that we're never unsure. Right, so now we know this is the top. Just mark that with a T. So I'm going to put all of this stuff away, and then I'm going to give you my face, and I'm going to thank you for allowing me to ruin your day and waste your time. I really need to get organized with my bookbinding needles. I have to find them, and once I've found them, this project will be super easy to do, and I will do it. Maybe I'll actually film it for you guys. And then I've got this paper that I could put into another book, right? I don't love this paper. I wouldn't use this for art journaling. I mean, maybe. But I could see this being really fun as a photo book or a scrapbook of some kind. So you could use this paper and you could put in snapshots and, little things that you print on your printer. And I might make a book like that out of this, just sort of a commonplace book or a book of hours where we're just adding little snippets of our everyday life. That could work. Or a field guide or something like that. I mean, it's not that it's a bad paper, it's that it's not suited to what I would normally do with it, which is art journaling. So this is the paper that was in the book. We are going to use these Funko watercolor cards to rebind the book, but we're going to wait until we actually have a needle. So what you're going to need for this project when you do it on your own is a box of these watercolor cards. You can also get them from Strathmore, but they're quite a bit more expensive, or just measure your paper and cut it to size from regular watercolor paper. You're going to want a deckled edge ruler if you want a deckled edge, or one of these babies, which will make your life so much easier. Yeah, you know what, Auntie? I think that's a really good idea. I like the idea of this being like a sidekick. Like, what if I bound this and it just sat, on this? This would be a great Copic binding, I think, unless you need 5 stations for Copic. Anyway, have it just sit here and then clean off your brushes and leftover paint, and then you'd have this, you'd rip it out and use it as collage fodder. It's a really good idea. So yeah, deckled edge ruler, or use your paper cutter. A heavy duty awl. You're going to want a heavy duty awl for this, unless you want to really hurt yourself. And if you don't have a heavy duty awl, you can just use a nail. A nice sizable nail will do. You need a pencil. Bone folder if you're folding your own folios, but these are already folded for me, so I don't need to worry about it. And then, of course, you want a book that you want to rebind. And this was the book that I wanted to rebind, because this made me ridiculously happy, except for the paper. As soon as I looked at it, I knew that I was going to rebind it as soon as I looked at it. So So I will do that. I will film it. I will put it up on the YouTubes and over on Patreon when I can do it properly, and it's not a whole lot of me like trying to adapt to not having a needle, because that was ridiculous. I think we can all admit that. I am going to give you my face now that I have spent an entire hour completely wasting your time. Hang on. That's not true, right? It's not true. I didn't waste your time at all. I accidentally turned off the camera. Don't be alarmed. I'm back. Here's my face. Anyway, this was fun. It's like, okay, I figured out exactly what I'm doing, and I can't wait to do this on a proper edited video for you, because this is transferable to all kinds of things. Like, if you buy one of these, if you're out in the world and you buy one of these, it's the exact same system. So you have one of these wonderful books, and maybe you filled it up. Let's say you filled it up, but you want the cover, so you could recover all of your pages with canvas or something else, right? And then you could rebind it for yourself. You can also do this with hardcover books, but it's a lot more difficult because the sewing stations aren't already in there for you. You would have to measure your own sewing stations, but honestly, not a problem, right? You just put in, I mean, the way that I would do it if it was a hardcover book is the same way that I bind my handbound journals. I would just do a hole about 2 inches from the bottom, one about 2 inches from the top, one right dead in the center, and that's how I would sew it. And I'll do that on the channel one of these days. But if you're in any of my art journaling classes, you got bookbinding lessons, because I include those in every single class I teach, pretty much, how to bind your own art journal. So the neurodivergent in me has to clip my finger every time I pick one of these up. I don't know what it is about me. It's just a thing. So that was today, Monday, February 17th. A little bit of a chaos goblin here today, I'm not going to lie. Thank you for keeping me company while I froze my tushy off. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you in all of our places. And also not next week, right? We're not, I think. Hang on. Hang on. Not next week. So we're not here next week. We're here the week after, March the 3rd. March the 3rd, 2025. I will see you. We are already at month end. Pardon me while I have a full-blown panic attack about everything I have to do before month end is over. It was my pleasure to hang out with you today. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. You're all so wonderful, and you make me happy, and you make my heart sing. And I will see you in all of our places. Lots of love. Bye.